Greetings, dear viewers. Welcome back to Chronicles of Awe. Today, we're journeying to the sun-baked lands of Western Australia, and delving into a story as strange as it is real. Prepare yourself for the bewildering tale of the Great Emu War of 1932. Picture the scene. It's the aftermath of the First World War. Australia, like many countries, is in recovery. Soldiers have returned home, many exchanging their rifles for farming tools as the government provides land for farming in Western Australia. But as they plough their fields and sow their seeds, they unknowingly set the stage for an unexpected invasion. For there is a native species that's about to become far too interested in their efforts, the emu. Now, for those unfamiliar, the emu is a large, flightless bird native to Australia, second in height only to the ostrich. Emus are generally peaceful creatures, but they're not averse to causing a ruckus when their stomachs demand it. In the late months of 1932, around 20,000 emus migrated from the interior of Australia to the coastal regions, their usual post-breeding routine. When these migrating emus stumbled upon vast stretches of cultivated land, it seemed like a buffet sent from the heavens. Acres of wheat, water from farm reservoirs, it was a smorgasbord they couldn't resist. Thus began the emu incursions into the farmland, resulting in significant crop destruction. Imagine the farmers' frustration. Months of toil ravaged by ravenous birds. Their appeals for assistance reached the Australian government, leading to a solution that could only be described as radical. In an unprecedented move, the Australian government decided to deploy the military. 2 soldiers armed with Lewis guns, a type of light machine gun, were dispatched to the wheat belt region. Their enemy? Thousands of innocent-looking but devastatingly destructive emus. This operation was led by Major G.P.W. Meredith of the Royal Australian Artillery. Initially, they thought the task would be easy, expecting to have the emu population under control in a few weeks. How wrong they were. The Great Emu War began, and the emus proved to be formidable opponents. The military's initial attempts were unsuccessful. The birds, perhaps sensing danger, scattered and ran amok in all directions, their speed and unpredictability making them difficult targets. In a humorous twist, local media began reporting the war, turning it into a spectacle that caught the nation's attention. Newsreel footage even made its way into cinemas, where the Australian public watched the battle unfolding in a mix of disbelief and amusement. Despite the heavy artillery, the emus were hard to pin down. The war stretched on, and public opinion started to turn. Animal rights activists and conservationists criticized the operation, and politicians began to mock the endeavor. The effectiveness of the military was also called into question, as even with advanced weaponry, they seemed unable to control a population of flightless birds. Eventually, the war was called off. After around 6 weeks of operation, only about 1,000 emus were killed, with no significant impact on the overall population. The emus, oblivious to their victory, carried on with their destructive dining. The farmers, though initially disgruntled, later found a more peaceful solution, a bounty system, which proved more effective at controlling the emu population than the military ever was. And so concludes the curious tale of the Great Emu War, an instance in history where man, machine, and flightless bird locked horns in an epic battle. That's it for this episode of Chronicles of Awe. Remember, history is not just about epic battles and grand achievements. Sometimes, it's about a group of persistent emus that unintentionally waged a war and won. Keep tuning in for more astounding tales from the pages of our past. As always, stay curious, and let the awe of history continue to surprise you.